Hi everyone, I'm delighted to be joined today by Dan Britton. He's one of our trustees who got involved with trusteeship through Trustee Match. And we're just going to have a conversation about his first year in his role with Weir Rivers Trust. So first of all, Dan, I'm just interested to know, what was your inspiration for becoming a trustee?
Yeah, hi Colette. Hi everyone. And I suppose the inspiration to become a trustee came off the back of yourself joining our senior leadership forum here at the NHSBSA and talking through about the benefits of being a trustee, not just personal development benefits for yourself, but also the value that your experience that you have in your day-to-day role could have with a trust or a charity of something that might be quite close to you in terms of whether it's a charity for something that is of real interest to you, like environmental, or something that's been quite close to you from a sort of family or friends point of view in the past. So that sort of triggered a few thoughts around getting outside of my comfort zone a bit. I've been with the NHSBSA for over 18 years now.
Yeah.
So all my leadership and management experience has come from this organization, which I'm really grateful for. But it was the first sort of thought of getting outside of my comfort zone, doing something outside of healthcare, potentially working with a different group of senior leaders, and hopefully adding some value in that respect for myself and for the trust or the charity that I was going to hope to join.
Yeah, oh, that's brilliant. And I'm just interested as well to know what that first year as a trustee was like, and particularly if there was anything you were particularly proud of achieving in that role.
Yeah, and it's funny to think that it's nearly a year already. I think it was April or May last year that I joined fully with Weir Rivers Trust, and quite a lot of things have happened in that time. In some of and I felt even after the first couple of sessions that I was able to start adding value, even just around some of the bits of finance forecasting and just understanding some of the figures about what the trust does and how funding is generated and how it's used, and maybe come up with some challenging but reasonable questions just as a fresh pair of eyes. But ultimately, the proudest things I've done in that time is supporting the trust with updating and refreshing the recruitment process around sort of the benefits package that the trust offers for new employees. Making that sort of, bringing some infographics. I've got a really good creative design team within the NHSBSA who and we have volunteering hours. So some of the team use some of the volunteering hours to create some of these infographics for the trust, make it look really attractive. And that's really, really supported the trust in terms of getting the right people in at the right time. And I know it's quite a competitive market now for vacancies and getting people in. So it's really helped in that respect and really timely. So I think that's been a good bit of work.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I know that your role is really, really highly valued by the team. And I guess kind of from the background that you come from, I wonder what the biggest learning has been. Was it what you expected when you joined the charity board?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, because I'd worked with the same organization and more or less the same people for a long period of time, I often used to wonder that, am I able to get some successes in my day-to-day role because of that familiarity? And maybe I've took that for granted. So I was slightly concerned, not concerned, I suppose, but it was always in the back of my mind that if I was on the board of trustees for a trust with people that I've never worked with before, would I have the same confidence? Would I have the same ability to start bringing successes? And I suppose after the first couple of meetings, I was, the team are great. There's a mixture of people and skills and experiences. And I suppose if you've got the experience, it doesn't matter where you're sitting, which table you're sitting around with whoever, you can bring what you normally bring on a day-to-day basis to that group. And I found that out really quickly, and it's really helped in terms of the confidence and just the ability to create relationships and engagement and move forward with a new group of people.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear. And also, I think it's quite common across sort of people who are thinking about becoming a trustee that you can easily underestimate what you can bring to the role. And it's lovely, it's a privilege for me really to sort of see the experience that people bring being transferred to a new organisation, and just seeing all of those relationships becoming richer for the sort of the fresh perspective, but the huge amount of experience that people bring from their own profession or their own background. So I guess sort of if someone was considering becoming a trustee, I just wonder if you would have any thoughts for them to consider, or anything that you think, oh, if I'd known this before, it would have been really helpful to help me to find a really great role.
Yeah, I think if you're thinking about it, my advice would be it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
You will develop yourself in terms of the experience you'll get. You will be able to add value.
Yeah.
And part of good leadership is the ability to comfortably move out of your comfort zone regularly, and you stretch those boundaries of your comfort zone. We all start off with a very small comfort zone as kids.
Yeah.
And the only way we make that bigger is by testing it out and trying new things. And as adults, we tend to regularly stop at a certain point and get a bit too scared to push it, whereas kids just do it all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know that because I coach under-9 football team, and they do it all the time. They're not scared, and they're not bothered who they're playing. They want to play football.
Yeah.
Whereas adults, I think we sometimes think too much about it. And for me, it was a step outside of my comfort zone, but I'm glad I did it, because now at work, I'm stretching the boundaries of comfort zones in everything I do. And because what's it's not fear really, it's just being slightly uncomfortable and then getting used to it.
Yeah, completely. I think that's a really lovely way to sort of to leave this conversation, and I'm always sort of inspired to hear sort of about your experiences. I know that you're making sort of huge impact on Wear Rivers Trust. I think that sort of concept of just kind of stretching your boundaries, and that idea of sort of comfortably extending you sort of your comfort zone, I think that's a really lovely way to consider trusteeship and new challenges. So I would just like to thank you for your commitment to trusteeship, for being such an inspiring ambassador for trusteeship. And to anyone watching who's interested in considering a governance role, then please get in touch, and we'd love to help through Trustee Match. So thank you again, Dan.
Great. Thanks, Colette. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.